Hello and welcome to Access UTV. My name is Michelle Edhouse, and today I'd like to talk to you about a concept that got prompted in my thought process by a meme image by Cass Thomas. Now, Cass is an amazing facilitator. She is an Access Consciousness 3-day body class facilitator, and she also is a Being You facilitator, and has written a book called 7 Steps to Communication. I think that's what it's called. And I absolutely adore Cass. I adore the way she facilitates, but this particular meme really kind of tweaked something in my world, and it has brought about a change in my willingness to be seen. And so I thought I'd have a chat to you about it and see if it can contribute at all to you or your choices, what you're aware of, what you can create as your life you're living and your reality. So what this meme talks about is being able to be invisible and walk through an area and not be spotted is a massive capacity, and it's absolutely really useful. I've watched there be a queue of people forming to speak to Gary Douglas, the founder of Access Consciousness, and all of a sudden he's actually left the room and nobody noticed. Now, I'm sure you've all used this capacity at some stage. We all have it, and it's whether you're using it to your advantage or whether you're actually limiting your life with it. When it stops being a choice and be who you be all the time, this is when it starts to actually move from being a capacity to a limitation. So I've facilitated quite a few people who are like, people never see me. I start talking and nobody even notices I'm talking. What is this? What do I do with it? How can I change it? And it is this amazing capacity that we have to be invisible. Now, if a photo was taken of the room at that moment in time, your body probably would show up. But it's that capacity to move through space without disturbing the molecules. And our voices do it as well, if we choose them to. And as I said, it's when it becomes who we be and that it becomes a limitation. So let's say, for example, you are one of these people who just feels like nobody ever sees them, nobody ever hears them, they just seem to be invisible permanently. Would you be willing to acknowledge that it's a capacity you have? And would you also be willing to use it when it's required rather than be it all the time? And everywhere you've decided that if you stop being invisible, you'll never be able to be invisible again, will you destroy and uncreate that, please? Right and wrong, good and bad, pod and pock, all 9, boys, shorts and beyonds. It is a capacity that we all have, and it's just like being happy. Happiness is a capacity we all have. It's just whether or not we're choosing it. So would you be willing to look at all the places and spaces you're stopping yourself from actually having choice, actually being the infinite choice that you truly be? And anywhere you've decided that you are something specific, or you do something specific, or you aren't something specific, or you don't do something specific, that's where you limit yourself. That's where you shut it off. So what if being invisible, being unheard, is a capacity you have that you can use when you require it and turn it on and off whenever you require? Now, Gary Douglas hasn't ended up with the business he's got, which is still growing at an accelerating rate by being invisible all the time. And yet he uses it to his advantage. If he's absolutely desperate to go to the toilet or go for dinner or just have some space on his own, he can leave a room without being noticed. And if you're aware of him and you're willing to actually stay glued to him, you will see him leave the room, but nobody else will. And when he's willing to be seen, there's always people, oh, Gary, oh, look, there's Gary Douglas, but he chooses to enter to be seen and when not to be seen. Would you be willing to do that and be that? And anywhere you're not willing to use it to your advantage, will you destroy and uncreate that, please? Right and wrong, good and bad, pod and pock, all nine, boys, shorts and beyonds. What energy, space and consciousness can you be to be the infinite capacities you truly be by choice and use them to your advantage? And everything that doesn't allow that, will you destroy and uncreate it, please? Right and wrong, good and bad, pod and pop, all nine, boys, shorts and beyonds. So I'd love to invite you to play with this, have some fun with it. Walk into a room and pull massive amounts of energy and be present and have everyone look at you and receive them looking at you, and then be invisible, be infinite, and have them go, that was weird, I'm sure there was a woman there or a man there. Would you be willing to be that magical? And would you be willing to use it to your advantage? So what else is possible? What else can you choose? And what other phenomenal tools that Access Consciousness has available can you use to your advantage? And I've got a foundation class coming up next weekend in Whakatane, Ohope, and I'm so looking forward to sharing these tools with those that are coming to play at that class. There are so many tools in the foundation class, and they have changed my life. They have created such a different possibility in my life and living, and so many people's that I know. So wherever you are around the world, there is bound to be a foundation class somewhere near you. And hey, if there isn't, find a facilitator that resonates for you and invite them to your area. What else could show up? Who else would like to come and play? And always there is, at least once a year, Gary Douglas and Dr. Dane here co-facilitate a foundation course online. So if there's no one in your area and no facilitator able to come to your area, you can always do it online. What else is possible if you were choosing you and using tools that create more ease, joy and glory in your life? So I look forward to talking to you some more in future videos and sharing even more tools and more possibilities. What else is possible, guys? See ya.